a brave gnome with the keenest eye, a loyal shrub with the sharpest wit, and a merry tune carried on the wind. Milo and Gooseberry blazed the trails again. Milo Pierce, accompanied by his trusty awakened shrub companion, Gooseberry, the clever and daring trailblazer who leads the way for discovery and adventure in the uncharted wilderness. Return with us now to those thrilling journeys of yore. Milo and Gooseberry ride the trails once more.
The land stretched out before them, broad and empty. Milo Pierce and Gooseberry walked through the hills. They saw the valley below, green fields and quiet streams. The ridges rose up around it, framing a place that seemed at peace. "It looks nice," Milo said. "Yes," Gooseberry replied. His leaves rustled as the wind moved through them. "But there is something wrong here." Milo looked closer. The fields were empty. Smoke rose from chimneys, but no one worked the land. They walked down the hill, their eyes sharp. There were people, gathered near their homes. They looked tired, worn out. "Good day," Milo called. His voice was light, friendly. He waved. "Is everything all right here?" An older man stepped forward. His face was lined, his hair gray and thin. "You're strangers," he said. "I'm Samuel Thatcher. Times are hard here in Willow Pass." "We can help," Milo said. "I'm Milo. This is Gooseberry." The people exchanged glances. They were uncertain. A woman with kind eyes stepped closer. "Unless you can drive off Bartholomew Grint, I don't think anyone can help us." "Who is Grint?" Gooseberry asked. Samuel sighed. "He's a merchant. Rich, from the city. He wants our land. Those who refuse to sell, face trouble." "Trouble?" Milo asked. "Fires," the woman said. "Damaged crops. Animals gone missing. He wants us out." Milo's eyes narrowed. "That's no choice at all." "Exactly," Gooseberry said. He looked at the people. "Have you thought about standing together against him?" A young man scoffed. "Stand together? We're farmers, not fighters. Grint has hired mercenaries." "That's why you need each other," Milo said. "Together, you can defend your homes." The people murmured among themselves. Some were hopeful, others afraid. Samuel shook his head. "We tried talking to Grint. He doesn't care. Most of us are too scared to fight." "You might just need help organizing," Milo said. He smiled. "We know a bit about that." Samuel looked at the others. After a moment, he nodded. "All right. We'll listen." They worked for days. Milo spoke in the village square, urging them to stand together. Gooseberry told stories of other towns that had faced hard times. Slowly, the people began to change. They shared what they had. They planned together. The blacksmiths made tools and built defenses. The hunters taught the others how to shoot and set traps. Milo and Gooseberry worked side by side with them. They set up watch posts. They dug trenches. They put up barriers. Gooseberry used his magic to grow thick walls of thorny shrubs along the hidden paths. The people watched, amazed, as the plants twisted together. Milo trained them. "We're here to protect," he said. "Not to fight unless we must. We want them to turn back." The people practiced. They grew stronger, more confident. There was a feeling in the air, a quiet determination. The sun rose, and with it came trouble. A dust cloud rose in the distance. A sentry called out. Milo and Gooseberry went to the barricade. Samuel stood with them. Grint's mercenaries rode into the valley. Their leader, a man named Briggs, looked around, frowning. Briggs stepped forward. "By order of Bartholomew Grint, leave this place now," he called. "If you stay, we will force you out." Samuel stood tall. "This is our home," he said. "We aren't leaving." Briggs sneered. "You've been warned. Men, advance." The mercenaries moved forward. But they found their way blocked. Trenches, spikes, and barriers slowed them down. Arrows flew, not to kill, but to warn. Gooseberry raised his arms. Vines and roots erupted from the ground, tangling the horses' legs. The horses reared, throwing some of the men. Milo called out from the barricade. "We don't want to fight. Turn back, and no one will get hurt." Briggs scowled. "You think this will stop us?" Milo stood firm. "It's not just this. And it's not worth your life. Is Grint paying you enough for that?" The mercenaries looked uneasy. One of them shouted, "This isn't what we signed up for." Others agreed. Briggs cursed, but he saw his men wavering. "Retreat," he shouted. They left the valley. The people cheered. They had held their ground without spilling blood. That night, they gathered to celebrate. There was laughter and music. The people shared food. Samuel came to Milo and Gooseberry. "We can't thank you enough," he said. "You helped us find our courage." "It was always there," Gooseberry said. "You just needed a spark." A young woman spoke up. "What about Grint? Will he come back?" "Maybe," Milo said. "But now he knows you're not easy to push around. We'll take this to the magistrate. Grint doesn't like real opposition." "And word will spread," Gooseberry added. "People will think twice before they trouble you again." The people nodded. They would send a group to the magistrate. They would make sure Grint was held accountable. Milo and Gooseberry stayed a few more days to help with repairs. They enjoyed the warmth of the people. When it was time to leave, Samuel shook their hands. "You're always welcome here," he said. "We won't forget what you've done." "Take care of each other," Milo said. "The wildlands can be harsh. But with friends, you can face anything." Gooseberry smiled. "Remember, the roots of a willow are deep. They hold the ground firm." They said their goodbyes and left the valley. Milo looked at Gooseberry as they walked. "Another job well done," he said. "Though Grint might not like us much." "Maybe he'll think twice next time," Gooseberry said. "Or maybe he'll find out how strong good people can be." The road stretched before them, wide and open. Together, Milo and Gooseberry were ready for whatever adventure they would come upon next.
And so, Milo Pierce and his loyal shrub companion Gooseberry ride off once more, blazing trails and forging friendships across the uncharted wilderness. Until next time, keep your wits sharp, your mind open, and your heart true, and you just might hear the Scout's tune carried on the wind.